All right, so I'm Christopher. We are doing an illustration of a kid's book that my wife and I wrote a few years ago, and then we lost it, and now we found it. Hey, Aubrey, nice to see you here. And here's the book. I haven't been doing it lately. I'm a few probably days behind. I've been doing some other stuff. Yesterday we painted this guy. That was pretty cool. I don't know if you heard me. Hi, Aubrey. All right. So we are working on Blubblub again. So we have Blubblub asks his dad. And this is Blubblub, he's shy. Or actually his dad asks Blubblub, like, what's up? And so the next page is Blubblub asks his mom. So we get a chance to show Blubblub's mom. I think we've shown her once before hiding. Sorry, just taking a drink of water. And now we can draw her regular. All right, let's get drawn. So this is Blubblub's dad. So the page today is, so Blubblub asked his mom, how do you camouflage? Maybe mama, I have written here. And his mom shrugs and says, it's just something you do. I've always known how. I bet you do too. I just can't explain. Stop being shy, just give it a try. Keep trying, keep doing it, just do it until it feels right. That's what his mom says, which is a little unhelpful to hear when you're asking for help on how to do something. I don't think his mom is like mean or anything like that. It's just a little rough. So we have Blubblub. Let's have Blubblub. So far he's been on the right side of this page, so let's keep that up. We'll put Blubblub on the right side of the page. I'm going to zoom out a little so you guys can see the whole paper. All right. I don't know if that helped or you can just see the tablet. All right, so we're going to start drawing with Blubblub. And now Blubblub is asking his mom, how do you camouflage? And his mom is like, bro, just try harder. It's a skill issue. And so this is Blubblub kind of reacting to that. He's a shy octopus. He doesn't know how to camouflage. And his mom is giving him unhelpful advice. So we have to convey the emotion of him being like kind of frustrated, a little sad, a little unsure of what to do in just his tentacles and his eyes and his mouth, because that's all he has. Oh, hi, Naomi. Oh, Nohemi. Nohemi. I'm not sure. Let me know if I got that right. So we're going to get him sort of looking forlorn and sad at his mom. I'm going to try like big wide eyes, pupils near the top. And we'll give like, even though he's underwater, he's an octopus, we'll kind of give him some like water reflections, like he's filled with tears. And I think that this should convey him being a little like what do you mean? Why aren't you helping me, Mom? And like I said, this isn't his mom like being mean or anything. It's she doesn't know how to help him. All right, so Blubblub is a little octopus. He doesn't know how to camouflage. He's struggling to learn how to camouflage. This is the story. And he is going through and he's asking his parents, he's asking his aunties and uncles. They're all giving him different types of advice. I do not remember. So this is a story my wife and I wrote like 5 or 6 years ago when I first started illustrating, and we thought like, oh, it'll be so cool. I'll do the illustrations. She's always been like a creative writer. So, and she has been lately, she's written some novels that we're working on sending out to get published. Well, we're going to see. We're sending them out to agents. we're gonna not go down the self-publishing route. So we'll see if anyone accepts them. But she's written a bunch, and they're good. She's very good at it. So she wrote this story also, and I have not, since we found it after we lost it, I have not gone back and finished reading it. I'm just going through page by page and doing the illustrations. So right now I'm just getting Blubblub's tentacles. So basically I use all 4 tentacles like arms for expressional reasons. So like when I draw stuffies or anything, I draw these little stuffy cartoons every day. And when I draw them, I use their arms to really convey their emotions. Like, it's integral. If they're scared, they put their arms by their face. If they're thinking, they, put their hand. Yeah, hi. I'm live, but it's September 12th. Yeah, so what happened was we are moving now in 2 weeks from now. So we just went up, our moving situation changed, and we just went up and found an apartment, and I actually took 4 days off, 5 days off streaming and uploading. I took 5 days off of YouTube altogether, and we went up and we found an apartment. We did some job interview stuff, and so that's all worked out so far. But yeah, the schedule has changed. I'll probably be up for the next week or 2 probably, and then I'll take another break while we move. Yeah, it's interesting. I started this doing the live stream. I started YouTube. My wife and I thought it would be fun. She had done YouTube years ago when YouTube first came out, and she had seen a lot of success. But then when we got together, like, it was just something that was hard to prioritize, and so she stopped doing it. Yeah, but now we're in a much more stable place, and she wanted to do YouTube, and so we did one. She wanted to do one with me, so we did one together, and now she's also working on hers. She's Odd Fudge. She's usually in the chat, but I don't know if she is tonight. I mean, she's not right now. But, yeah, and then I just sort of, once we did it for a while, I just sort of started doing the CMonsterYK stuff myself. It became sort of drawing focused and drawing heavy. And then, yeah, when all this stress was happening, we weren't sure where we were going to live, and like we were threatened with homelessness, which is another story that I don't want to get into really. But I started doing the live streams, like, just to have something to keep my mind off of it, to help me feel like better and more like productive in a way, that something I could control, I guess. And so here we are. I really enjoyed them. I have no intention of stopping, even as everything sort of settled in. Whoops. That hair distracted me, and then I made him flat on the side of the head. It's alright, we can erase it. Alright, so we have Blubblub now. It's pretty good. We can add in the back tentacles later. That's not super important. I mean, it'll be really good to do them right. But for this, just like the blocking out, getting it all down on the page, it's not super important. I think this looks a lot like Blubblub. This is him being shy. This is him being just himself. And then we have him asking his dad. So I think that really does look like him. So I think that's good. The perfect circle. Thank you. Alright, and now we need his mom. Now his mom, she's trying to be helpful, right? But she's basically like, I don't know, bro. Like, don't you just know how to do it? I can't explain it. So I have her here, like, years ago when we first did it. I have her here, like, angry. But I think we're going to make her sort of like, oh, thank you so much, Aubrey. I think we're going to make her more, like, not nonchalant, but sort of, So So I think his mom is a little bit more oval in the head. Yeah, I think kind of like a nonchalant, sort of like, I don't know why you're even asking. This is something that everyone can do. She's, she's got a lot going on, maybe. And maybe she should have done a little better. I don't know. I mean, she probably should have done a little better as far as Blubblub's concerned. But we don't know her story. This is not her story. This is Blubblub's story. I'm going to have all 4 of her front tentacles doing a little shrug. I thought that would look ridiculous, but seeing it sketched out here, I kind of like it. Oh man, I have all my pencils. My desk is a mess. Okay, let's get in here with these tentacles. I go back and forth between tentacles and arms. I think they're arms. I think there's a scientific definition between the two. And like, I think octopuses have arms and squids have arms and tentacles. But I'm not really sure. I was just looking up. Somebody said stammering and stammering were different, but I always thought stammering just was how people in the UK say stuttering. And that's what the internet says. That's what the dictionary says, I mean. But I think it's interesting to like have a distinction between stuttering and stammering. Like, I think it's interesting that we as people... Oh, okay, Aubrey, thanks for stopping in. We just like subdivide the definitions of words like ourselves, right? Because we don't walk around with some dictionary level of like words in our head. We're not like using words and thinking, oh, that means this in the Webster's English Dictionary. Now listen, some people are, and some people are doing it for some words. I'm not saying no one ever does that. I'm saying that's not generally how we use language. We usually have like a personal definition for words, right? I don't want to make all of her legs shrug. Actually, I'm sort of drawing it now, like all of her legs doing some sort of shrug, and it's kind of great. Yeah, I'm doing it now. We'll at least have 6 of the 8, and then we'll like have her other arms like kind of whatever. All right. Now, so I do want her to sort of look concerned. I have her mad in the original cartoon, just like the sketch I did, but I don't want her mad. But I want her to sort of be like, I don't know. What do you? Okay, that's not bad. It's getting there. Pardon me, I need a sip of water. So I think probably in this drawing, besides Blubblub's face, I think his mom's face is going to be the next most important part to get the like feeling across. So my guess is there'll be more than one draft. Just because when it's something that specific and that like, yeah, maybe you're the only one talking for sure. It seems like there's other people here. I know there's a few people that lurk. I don't... When I start my streams late, like 8 o'clock, after 8 o'clock, my time, they don't usually do very well. But that's okay, because I'll download them and then I'll cut them into shorts or something later. And it's good, it helps me make sure I do the actual work. So that's... It's hard sometimes when you just have a couple people in the stream, but you gotta make it through that time period, right? And then sometimes there'll be like 15 people here all night for a few hours, and that's really nice. So you gotta take the good with the bad, the beginning with the end, the journey with the destination. This is just how it goes, you know. Alright, I'm gonna put this... I did these yesterday, and I really like this guy. I did this guy yesterday, and I really like it. I only picked those up because my brush was hiding behind him. Okay, I'm gonna do... I think this is pretty good with the mom. I think this lip that I have here really conveys like a exasperation. She's not like mad or unhappy, but there's this like, come on, blub blub. All right. I'm trying to just make sure I really nail it. And I don't know with her eyebrows. I sort of do want them to be arched, but maybe not too much. Because like an arched eyebrow gives question or gives... I'm not sure. The stream with the picture. I did two, so they're on the same page. So you might have been here for this one. That's the first one I did. But I just did this one last night, and I don't think you were there. Alright, okay, I think this is pretty good for Blubblub's mom. Maybe, maybe she'll have, like, sort of face spots. I know the dad has head spots, Blubblub has head spots. Maybe the mom will have face spots. And I think to, like, give the arms direction, we'll do the suction cups on the top, and that way it looks like her hands are pointing up. We'll look at the next page. I think this is going to be a 2-page spread. So that's something really interesting. When I first did the layout for this book, a lot of what I did was 2 pages for everything. Like this, I think would be a 2-page spread, and it'll have like 4 pages of writing, 4 stanzas is probably the best way to put it. And originally, I would have broken that down into 2 separate illustrations. And now, a lot of things that I thought would need to be 2 or 3 illustrations, I'm planning to do all as one. I know, like, I guess maybe I'm like, I don't know. It feels like maybe I trust more that I can convey both things with one illustration, or maybe I was eager to illustrate a bunch of stuff. Oh yeah. The mom looks a little crazed. But I think I like it. I need to make it so she's not looking at Blubblub right now. So I have to make it so she's looking at him. Her eye line is just, she's like staring off into the distance. That's why she looks so crazy. Gosh. Okay. Okay, that's much better. She seems much more normal. Alright, what's the next page? Let's see if I'm going to illustrate that. Oh, it's gotten mess. Okay. So I thought he like asked his aunties and uncles. Oh, okay, okay. But I don't understand. I like being pink. I'm trying to figure out, like here I have pages 6 and 7, and I don't have page numbers on these. And maybe this is a little, yeah, this is too much to be organizing, I think, on stream. Oh, no, no, feel better. So Blubblub stayed pink no matter how hard he tried. Okay, yeah, so I think, so Blubblub asked his mom, how do you camouflage? And she says, I don't know, bro, you just do it. And then, this goes back here. Yeah, this is, wait a second. Oh, okay, yeah, Blubblub was always pink, and then his dad is like, why can't you hide and do better with the rest of us? Why can't you camouflage? And Blubblub was like, I don't know how. And that is this page right here. Why can't you do better? Why can't you camouflage? And he's like, I don't know how. And then he asks his mom, hey mom, how do I camouflage? And she's like, I don't know, bro. You just do, right? And then his dad comes and gives him a hug, and he's like, it's all right. You don't have to camouflage. Or at least that's what I've written here. Okay, yeah. So I think his dad comes over and he's kind of understanding, and he gives him a hug, and he's like, you don't have to camouflage. Don't worry about it, man. Like, don't be so sad. So let's get his dad. I'm going to pull his dad out so I see what he looks like. I don't accidentally draw some other octopus. I'm going to put this mom one back here. Oh, cool. Alright. And we'll do the next. Yeah, the mom one. Okay, we'll do the next page. Okay. And the next page is, it's okay, Blubblub. His dad hugging him. Yeah, I like it a lot, the story. I like too that it's kind of, you know, it's about not being able to do something and the expectation that you should be able to do it. All right. So now we'll have Blubblub, I think, pretty much in the center because his dad's going to be hugging him. Like, we could also put his mom in there. I don't know. I think just I'll have Blubblub here. Oh, and he's like real sad. So maybe we'll zoom out a little. We'll make everybody a little bit smaller. And we'll give us sad octopus here. And I think we'll just have like his tentacles like really stretched out. Like really like this. I think for some reason to me that gives sad octopus. And then we'll have him looking down, literally looking down. And we'll sort of have his eyes a little smaller, a little more closed. And that'll make him look kind of, not just sad, but a little like frustrated too. A little like beaten almost, like The mouth is one of the hardest things for me. I think even the slightest turn can convey so much. The slightest wiggle in a line can convey so much when it has to do with the mouth. I think it's because humans in general just have we have so many neurons that read the human face, and so every little thing can make such a big difference to us because we are programmed in essence to read and understand other people's emotions. This is too much. He got too square. It's too real. All right, little head dots. And do some of his arms. Yeah, so we're moving to a cool little city. It's small, 30,000 people. But we went, and it was pretty nice. It was very nice. We're excited. Oh, hey, Zay the King. Yeah, this is a story about Blubblub the octopus. He's a shy octopus. He's trying to learn how to camouflage. In the story right now, what we're drawing is he just asked his mom for help learning how to camouflage because he's struggling. And she's like, sounds like a skill issue. And so now he's really sad. She didn't literally say sounds like a skill issue, but that's what came across. She was like, I don't know, just do better. And so he's feeling really down. I'll show you the previous page where his mom says like, just don't suck, I guess. And his dad's about to come over and give him a hug. That's what's happening here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so it kind of looks like a moon here. I gotta stretch his body out a little. He didn't really look like Blubblub there. He looks much more like him. All right, yeah, so everyone's camouflaging and he's just pink, right? That's the story. That's the start. I think that's the start. And you see all of his family and they're all hiding and stuff. And he's like, oh, I can't do that. And then he's like, hey, Dad. His dad is like, oh, why aren't you changing colors with the rest of us? Why can't you camouflage there? And Blubbleb's like, oh, I don't know. And then he's like, hey, Mom, how do I camouflage? And his mom's like, the way I do it is I just know how to do it, and then I do it. And then Blubblub's like, what the heck? And then, like, Blubblub's really sad. And he's pink. He can't change into anything but pink. And it's like, it's starting to make him really blue. Not the color. He's sad. And so now his dad comes over, and his dad's going to, like, I put a picture of his dad so I could remember how to draw him. This is his dad, yeah. And so his dad comes over, and his dad is going to put his arm around him and be like, it's Blubblub, it's okay. I like Samsung also. That's also what I have. and then his dad's gonna come over and put his arm around him and be like, he'll be like, it's all right, Blub Blub. You can just, he'll do two arms because, that's how octopus are. Octopi, octopod, octopodes. Ah. One time I took a photo. I had the top flagship Samsung at the time, and I took a photo, and somebody was like, "Oh my God, that's so great! Like, what iPhone do you have for taking that photo?" And I was like, "Oh no, I took it on a Samsung," and they were like, "Oh, I could never get a Samsung. The cameras suck. They look so bad." And I was like, "What?" That's my iPhone Samsung story. I don't really care what you have or what other people have. Alright, so his dad... Oh, I can show you something I drew recently that I really like. I didn't show... I did these yesterday. Well, I did this one yesterday, and I did this one the day before. I want to do a whole, like, story about these guys. I really like them a lot. Now, I want his dad to look, like, concerned, but also comforting. So we'll have him... I think that works, like this, like, open mouth, sort of side hug. We'll have his brow furrowed a little bit. Okay, and then his dad has, like, he is this, whatever this is called, where you don't have hair but you have it along the edges. I used to know. Male pattern balding, is that it? And his dad is coming over and he's just like, hey, listen, man, if you're pink forever, it's probably, that's fine. Like, don't be sad. We'll figure it out. You'll probably be able to camouflage. And, like, if you can't, it's okay. But we'll see. I just read forward a few pages in the story we wrote, and Blubblub is pretty sad that he can't camouflage. So he's gonna go see. We'll see what he does next. Like I said, we wrote this about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, and this is the first time I've really read ahead, and I really don't know what's going on. Oh yeah, it's Jamaican called Tim's World, and Good Stories too. Yeah, so this is really hard. I really liked. I drew a little comic in school before I could even draw, and they would just be like stick figures, and they would have. Here, I'm going to do a sample real quick. Oop. So, yeah, for example, it would be like a little sort of stick figure like this. And then if they were doing anything with their hands, it would be like that. And their clothes would just kind of be whatever. I would never draw hands. And then it would always be at the lunch table, because that was the conceit. Like, it was 5 kids at lunch, or 6 kids at lunch. And then their heads, I would draw their heads like pretty big. And it would still be like line art. I wouldn't get into any sort of detail, but then it would have, I'm just kind of drawing Doug Funny, I guess. I didn't mean to. But like if somebody had crazy hair, like, or a swoosh in their hair or something, and yeah, like here we go. And so I would draw characters like this. And then I did a whole cartoon, comic strip like this for, I did like 2 or 3 a week for a couple semesters in school. Oh, hey, Fabs. And then now, I don't know if I said, I don't know if you guys know this. I know some of you probably do. I draw a comic every day. It's just for I draw it for my wife, but she is planning on uploading of them. And I draw it Stella. This is Stella. It's based on stuffed animals. There's like a long line of cartoons and books and stuff written about people's stuffed animals, which I think is so funny. This is Stella. I said that already. And she has a sister, Steffi. I'm doing it really quick, so it's a little sloppy. And then this is Steffi. Steffi's a little bit bigger, a little bit older, a little bit wiser. My characters, I don't know what they look like. Oh yeah. I think my Discord is in the description, the bio of the channel. And we have it's open for right now for everybody. It probably won't always be, but it is now. And we have like an art share channel where people can share their art. And this is Steffi. Huh? I don't know. And I draw this style right now of cartoon, of comic. I do it every day. It's usually 2 or 3 panels. It's not always funny. Sometimes they're just doing something. And that's really helped me learn how to draw everything else, which is funny. Like, even though these guys are very simple and they're very like straightforward, and I draw them the same every time. Just drawing them every day, sometimes they're in different positions or whatever. But just drawing them every day has really, I don't know, it's changed how I draw in general. Her eyes are, yeah, this is weird. But, alright, back to Dad comforting Blubblub. Yeah, if you're asking me, I post all my lives onto YouTube afterwards. I don't think I have kept any of them private. So I think for his legs back here, I sort of want them to be neutral, or at least I want them to not, like, there's sort of this concept in movies and stuff where you have, I'm going to just use this as an example again, where you have like one character who's sad, and then another character comes over and he's like comforting them, but then behind their back they're like crossing their fingers. And you can, even if they're not like crossing their fingers or whatever, there's this like when their hand is back here doing something different than comforting them here, it's sinister. And so I want to make sure the dad doesn't come across, have any of that type of energy in this moment. I want the dad to be like very much focused on his son. Well, take care, Aubrey. Don't stay up too late. I mean, you know, get rest. It's important. Stay up late, but you know, I don't know. I just came off of a few days where I did not get enough sleep, and it was really hard to just like keep my brain alive. Oh, thank you so much. Take care. Alright, I think this leg is from the back. So, okay, yeah, that's good. We can have this one coming down, coming out there. We don't need to figure out every leg right at the moment. Oh. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing some historical buildings and lighthouses in the near future, like next month. I've taken some photos already, so I might even start a little earlier. But yeah, I'm moving to a new place, and I'm really excited to illustrate some of their old buildings, their historical buildings, stuff like that. Sometimes people really like the illustrations, and then I can put them up as postcards, or sometimes the actual places have reached out and asked if they can use them for their merch. And so it's a good opportunity to get to know everybody and go around and show them some of the illustrations and maybe even drum up some work. That would be really, really great. Do some, hopefully they'll want the illustration and they'll want some graphic design work. Put it on a postcard or put it in a t-shirt. I did t-shirt printing, stuff like that. I think this is pretty good. I think the dad comes across, I like the dad a lot. I think if anything needs work, it's Blubblub. I think let's redo his eyes. Yeah, let me look. I'm not going to stop right now, but I will look and try to get that Discord on the channel bio, the Discord link. If you can search, I don't know how joining servers on Discord work. It shouldn't need an invitation because we set it to public for now, but it's CMonsterYK is the server name also. So if you can search for it, like I said, I don't know if you can. I know you used to be able to, and then they stopped that, and then you needed an invite, and then for public servers you could just search them, and then sometimes that was still not true even when they said it was. So, but yeah, I will post the link again in the channel bio after this live. Okay, I mean this looks much more like Blubblub. Yeah, I think this is Blubblub. We could try to make him a little rounder. Yeah, let's just do that right here. We'll just move this. That's him. Now, to me, this is so funny. Like, how does the roundness of a head change so much how a character looks? I mean, it makes sense, but like, there was a very little difference in roundness. But to me, this looks like Blubblub, and the guy before just didn't. I wonder if I did even need to change the eyes or if he would have been okay. All right. I think this is a quick one, but I think we did pretty good. Let's go through. Okay. So I don't have the seascape, but essentially here's what we have. We have Blubblub. He's a shy octopus. He's always pink. Then we have the seascape. So you have to use your imagination, where there's a whole bunch of the sea and there's coral reef and everything. And it's his family and they're all camouflaged and hiding. And Blubblub goes, oh gosh, I can't turn pink. I can't camouflage or hide at all. And he feels like really weird and sad about it. And his dad's like, hey bro, how come you can't camouflage with the rest of us? You ever thought about that? And Blubblub's like, oh, I have no idea. And then Blubblub's like, whoops. And then whoops. And then Blubblub's like, hey mom, how do you camouflage? Like, I can't do it. And his mom is like, you just, try a little. Just, I don't know. Have you tried trying? And then he's like, wow, this is terrible. Where is he? He's like, wow, this is terrible. My mom hates me. And his dad's like, Blubblub, you're gonna be all right. The end. No, it's not really the end. There's more. But that's it for today. All right. Here comes Blubblub. It's coming together. We have the seascape that we'll probably use for most of the backgrounds. Or we'll do watercolor, just like sheets, which can look really nice. We also do like these alcohol inks where you get tissue paper that's really absorbent and then you spray it with like colored rubbing alcohol and it absorbs it. And it, oh, thanks so much, Zay. And it spreads out and it kind of looks like a watercolor tie-dye. And so sometimes we use those and then we put them behind the characters or the scenery or something to add like a lot of depth and a lot of like interesting stuff going on. And I think a lot of these characters, if they're colored really nicely, I think having the like seascape sketches and the watercolor in the background will look really nice. Oh yeah, no problem. I didn't think you meant hun. I thought you probably meant but makes a lot more sense. I mean, it's very similar. All right, yeah, I'm actually out of here too. That's 2 pages of Blubblub sketched out today. This is the mom and the dad. I think it comes across really nice. And I'll try to be on tomorrow. I'll try to be on a little earlier tomorrow, like 7. I've been struggling to get on time, but tomorrow will be the day. Good night.